Hello everyone, welcome to Educare 247. This is the 12th lecture on our special MCQ series for SEBI Grade A 2020 examinations. In this lecture, we will be discussing the MCQs on Accounting Standard 13, that is, Accounting for Investments. Standards are a part of your syllabus for Commerce and Accountancy for SEBI Grade A examinations. We have already prepared videos on Accounting Standard 1, 2, 9 and 11. You can go through those videos to understand what kind of questions will be asked in the exams. Begin with the first question. Question number 1. Which of the following statement is not true about investments as per AS 13? So we have to find the false statement here. Option A. Assets held as stock in trade are not investments. Option A is correct because assets held as stock in trade do not come under investments. Option B. Under appropriate circumstances, market value or net realizable value provide an evidence of fair value. This statement is also correct. Option B is correct. Option C. Mutual funds and venture capital funds are covered under investment. So this is incorrect statement because mutual funds and venture capitals, they are not covered on the statement. So our answer here is C. Option D. Investment of retirement benefits plan and life insurance enterprises are excluded from AS 13. So option D is also correct. So our answer here is option C. So this question basically deals with the non-applicability of AS 13, right? So let us understand the non-applicability. This AS shall not be applicable in the following cases. 1. Recognition of interest, dividends and rentals earned on investment because they are covered by AS 9. See, interest, dividends and rentals, they are revenue, right? So revenue is covered by AS 9, which is the standard for revenue recognition. Number 2, operating or finance leases. Again, leases are covered by separate accounting standards, so they are not accounted by Accounting Standard 13. Investment of retirement benefit plans and life insurance enterprises. So these are also they also fall under a different accounting standard. And number 4, mutual funds and venture capital funds and or the related asset management companies, banks and public financial institutions formed under a central or state government act or so declared under the Companies Act 2013. So these four, AS 13 is not applicable on these four. Question number 2. If investment is acquired by issue of shares, the acquisition cost of investment is A. Amount paid for acquisition, B. Fair value of securities issued, C. Market price of securities, or D. Any of the above. So the answer here is B. Fair value of securities issued. Now, investments, there are different mode of acquisitions of investment, and the cost of investment, they depend on the different mode of acquisition. So let us understand the type of acquisition and the cost respective to those types. Now, first is your cash bank. See, if investments are acquired by cash or bank by paying cash, then the cost of investment would be the cost price, and the cost price would also include charges such as brokerage fees and duties. Now, if the acquisition of investment is made by issue of shares or other securities, then the cost of investment would be the fair value of securities issued. Similarly, if acquisition is in exchange for another asset, if one asset is exchanged in return for investment, then the value of such investment would be fair value of asset given up or fair value of investment acquired, whichever is more clearly evident. So either you find the fair value of asset given up, or in some cases the fair value of asset given up may not be evident, right? So in those cases the fair value of investment is found out, and whichever is more clearly evident, that is taken as the cost of investment. Educare offers various courses for SEBI Grade A 2020 examinations. We have comprehensive courses for SEBI Grade A 2020, which includes the syllabus of both paper 1 and 2. We also have MCQ courses for SEBI Grade A 2020 for paper 2, and we have SEBI Grade A 2020 crash course for phase 1 and 2. You can apply with coupon code SEBI, 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 and avail discounts on comprehensive courses and crash courses. However, since MCQ courses are already at a discounted price, no further discount is available in this course. You can enroll on these various courses on the basis of your stage of preparation. Moving on to question number 3. Long-term investments are carried at A. fair value, B. cost less other than temporary decline, C. cost or market value, whichever is less, or D. any of the above. So the answer here is option B, cost less other than temporary decline, or we can say other than temporary as permanent decline. So long-term investment are valued at cost less permanent decline. So this question deals with valuation or carrying amount of inventories, right? So let us understand the carrying amount or the valuation of current investment and long-term investment. Let's look at current investment first. The current investments are valued at cost price or fair value, whichever is lower. Such lower valuation will not be on overall basis, it should be on each security basis. So for current investment, the valuation is on cost price or fair value. You find the cost price and you find the fair value, and whichever is lower, that would be the valuation of investment. Now there can be many investment, right? A company can invest in a lot of securities. So what you do, you find the cost and fair value for each individual security, and you compare the cost and fair value for each individual security. So the valuation should be on each security basis, right? It should not be on the overall basis. That is, you do not aggregate the cost and you do not aggregate the fair value, and you do not compare the aggregate. You compare the cost and fair value for each individual security, and whichever is lower would be the value of that individual security. Now coming to long-term investments. Long-term investments are valued at cost price only. However, if there is any permanent decline in the value of investment, then provision for such decline shall be made. So if there is temporary decline, then we do not account for such temporary decline. But if there is permanent decline, then we value long-term investment at cost less provision for permanent decline. Alright. Question number 4. When long-term investment are reclassified at current investments are valued at A. cost, B. carrying amount, C. lower of cost and carrying amount, or D. none of the above. So the answer here is C. lower of cost and carrying amount. So this question deals with the reclassification of investment. What do you mean by reclassification? See, sometimes current investment can be reclassified into long-term investment, or a company can reclassify long-term investment into current investment. So how do we account for such reclassification? That is also provided by this accounting standards. See, what does this accounting standard say? Whenever an investment is reclassified, then following rules shall be applied. From current investment to long-term investment. Such investment should be carried in books at cost price or fair value, whichever is lower. So when your investment was current investment, you valued it at cost price or fair value, whichever is lower, right? So the same valuation has to be carried forward when it is reclassified into long-term investment. Similarly, from long-term investment to current investment, such investment should be carried in books at cost price or carrying amount. By carrying amount, we mean cost minus provision for permanent decline. Okay, so it has to be carried in books at cost or carrying amount, whichever is lower. Now coming to the last question, 5. A Limited acquired 2000 equity shares of Omega Limited on cum right basis. Cum right means including right at rupees 75 per share. So the initial price of the share was, the price at which the share was bought was 75 per share. Subsequently, Omega Limited made a right issue of 1:1. So what do you mean by 1:1 right issue? For each share, one right share is to be allotted. Here we have 2000 shares, right? So how many right shares would be allotted on 1:1 basis? 2000 right shares at rupees 60 per share, which was subscribed by A. Total cost of investment at year end will be, so the answer here is option A. See, initially before the issue of right issue, the cost of your equity shares would be 2000 into 75, right? So that would give you 1,50,000. Now when the right is issued, you have to include the value of right into the value of your investments. So the value of right would be 2000 into 60, right? Because on 1:1 basis, 2000 right shares was acquired. So 2000 into 60 would give you 1,20,000. So the overall value of investment would be 1,50,000 plus 1,20,000. That would give you 2,70,000. See, right shares, in case the right shares are offered or subscribed for, right? So here the right shares was subscribed by A, right? The cost of the right share shall be added to the carrying amount of the original holding, right? So original holding was your 1,50,000, right? And when the right was issued, the cost of the right share was 2000 into 60, that is 1,20,000. So together the value of the investment would be 2,70,000. We've come to the end of the video. I hope you found the video useful. If you like the video, then do like and share the video, and subscribe to our channel for more videos on different topics of SEBI Grade A 2020 examinations. Thank you.